Common Core State Standards, Math, 7th grade, Number Systems 3, Expressions and Equations 3, Numbers, Quantities 2C, Rational Numbers, and we're dividing fractions and mixed numbers, and this is the first one. And so the first example we'll be using is 1/3 divided by 5. Whoops, 1/3 divided by 5. Put the wrong marker. And so when you're dividing with fractions, make everything, or you're using fractions, make everything fractions. So 5, you can make this a fraction by adding the 1 under it. And so division has a special thing where you multiply by the reciprocal. So it's much like multiplying, but it's the opposite. So we're going to keep, change, flip. And we've done this before. So we're going to keep the first fraction, 1/3. We're going to change the division to multiplication, and we're going to flip the second one. And now we have a multiplication problem. We are going to multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 5 is 15. And 1 in the numerator is done. So moving on to the second one. It's going to get a little harder, but you're a little smarter. 3/4 divided by -1/2. All right, and so we still do the same thing. We have a negative, so we have rules for fractions and rules for negatives, but we're looking at 3/4, and we're going to keep, change, and flip. So it's going to keep this 3/4, change this to multiplication, and flip this one, so it's -2/1. And now we have a multiplication problem, and it's negative here. Oops, this is a negative. It's a terrible negative. It's a negative. So 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. And it's negative. Don't forget the buddy negative. And it's an improper fraction, so stop, drop, divide, because you have to have it simplified. 4 goes into 6 one time with a remainder of 2. So put it over the denominator, and it's -1 2/4. What's wrong with that fraction? It's still not simplified. I can get a factor of 2 out of both, so divide by 2/2, and I get -1 1/2. 1 in the numerator is done. And let's squeeze in a third example. And this one here is a little bit harder, but again, you're a little bit smarter. And you're dividing by 3 1/3. Well, there are no negatives, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do have a mixed number here. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to get it all into fractions, as even if it's an improper. So we have 2/3 divided by, so 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10/3. And it is keep, change, flip. So it is 2/3 times 3/10. And there's a couple of ways you can do this, and we're just going to do the regular way. And we can go 2/3. 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 10 is 30. And then I know I can take a 6 out of both. We have to simplify it. 6/6. That's really a 1. So I can get this answer as 1/5. Now, for those of you who can, let's go back to here. We have 2/3 times 3/10. If you can see this, go ahead and simplify up here if you can, because I can take a factor of 3 out of both sides, and I can actually take a factor of 2, so I can double cross simplify here, and this becomes a 5. And now I'm left with also 1/5. So either you simplify up here or you simplify down here. It is fine as long as you have got the right answer. Thank you.